Okay.
No, that we
Good
just
evening,
started.
everyone. Before we get started this evening, I'd like to say a few words. First, I'd like to acknowledge our new mayor, or mayor in waiting. He'll be taking over in about 3 weeks, Ryan Lowe. Mayor's supposed to stand up and wave to everybody. Thank you, Ryan. It's not going to take him very long. He'll learn how to stand up and wave. Congratulations. I'd like to say a few words. I'd like to thank this council. This council worked and passed the new Bass Reeves Public Safety Complex. It will save the city several $1 million a year in costs. We won't have the burden of police cars, of fire engines at $2 million apiece. We won't have the burdens of police radios at $5,000 or $6,000 apiece, or tasers, or other things. With the 9/11 Center changing, we'll have the benefit of saving $1 million a year. All because of the hard work that this council put into. At the same time, they worked hard to push our largest capital improvement program ever in the history of the city. This wasn't voted on by the council. This was voted on by the people of Muskogee. A supermajority of the people in Muskogee voted for this CIP tax, and all of these council members met with their constituents and decided, how they should apportion what the people's needs or wants were, and they did a great job because the public thought it was wonderful, and they're looking forward to Muskogee continuing to grow. One more thing. Currently, if we 11 months from now, we should hit a $5 million goal of extra fees coming into the city. $5 million. In another 5 years, we should have another $11-12 million coming into the city. So we've got revenue saved by the Bass Reeves facility. We've got revenue coming in to take care of a lot of Muskogee's needs and to tune everything up into fine shape. We've got another $12 million a year coming in. I don't want to be so brash as to say flush with money, but when some of us in council 8 years ago, it was a matter of, well, we need to fix the Public Works building. A tornado hit it last night. We need to fix it. Yeah, we need to fix it. We need to fix it. Okay, what's it going to cost? $3 million. Okay, pass. Next item. We couldn't afford to do it, so we didn't do it. And things stacked up and stacked up and stacked up. So my hope and belief is we'll be in better position that when things like that happen, we can take care of them. And we continue to take care of them. And we've got the money to continue to take care for the streets and the parks. And right now I'm happy that I will probably die, whether it's in 10 years or 30 years. And this Muskogee is going to be, it's going to be on the move. It's going places. For a lot of your children and a lot of your grandchildren. So be proud and excited with me for the direction that Muskogee's headed. I'm real excited about it. You should be real excited about it. And this council here is the one that did it. 2 years, they did more than the last 10 councils. Got more accomplished. It's a big deal. Thank you, council. Next, we'll have our Muskogee Municipal Authority meeting, and Melody Cranford's going to do our invocation tonight. Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight, thanking you for this day that you have made. We pray that you would be with us and that you would lead us and guide us. Allow us to use your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in every decision that we make. that we would do what is right and what is best for the city of Muskogee, for each and every citizen. We pray that you would bless each and every council member that is here on tonight. And we thank you for all that you will do, and we anxiously anticipate so many great things happening in the city of Muskogee. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Counselor. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, the salute to the state of Oklahoma. I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people. Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Jamie Stout. Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Melody Cranford.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Mike Brawley.
Here.
Okay, item number 1, please.
Consider approval of MMA minutes of February the 23rd, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion
Second it.
and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes, item passes. Number 2, please.
Consider approval of MMA claims for all city departments for the month ending February 28, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Kendall Francis?
Thank you. Before you have the claims for MMA for the month ending February 28th. I'd answer any questions, and staff does recommend approval.
Motion to
questions?
approve. Motion to approve.
I second it.
We got a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes. This meeting is now adjourned. Next, we'll call order to the Muskogee City Council meeting, March 23rd, 2026. If we could we excuse Jamie Stout now or after roll call?
After roll call.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Jamie Stout. Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Melody Cranford.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Mike Brawley.
Here.
Now, can we excuse Ms. Stout? Thank you.
We need a motion.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes, item passes. Next, we'll have our approval of minutes.
City Council regular session February 23rd, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Move for approval. Second.
We got a motion and a second on the approval of minutes. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes. Now the consent agenda. Items 1 through 10 have been approved.
No.
Or
We need a motion.
do we need a motion to approve them?
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes. Item passes. Okay, the regular agenda, item number 11.
Hold a public hearing related to an appeal of the findings by the Uniform Building Code of Appeals Board that the property located at 313 North 14th Street is dilapidated and has become detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the general public as to constitute a public nuisance and creates a fire hazard which is dangerous to other property, and that the building is abandoned and that the property should be demolished or take other necessary action.
Okay, let's open a public hearing. Ms. Winkle.
So an appeal from the owner was received on this property on 2/25/26 regarding the demolition of 313 North 14th Street. This item went to our Uniform Building Code of Appeals Board on January 28th of 2026. And they found that the property had become detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the general public as the constituted public nuisance, created a fire hazard which is dangerous to other property, and that the building was abandoned and the property should be demolished. We did receive an appeal on this from the owner, who is Inamax Home Solutions. The owner was going to sign waivers and was on board with that for the demolition of this property, but then he called us to state that he did have an interested buyer in the property through his listing agent. The property is historic and would have to adhere to the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic properties. In addition to that, any renovations or remodels that would need to be done on this property would have to go through a certificate of appropriateness process with our Historic Preservation Committee. Our recommendation is to uphold the findings of the Uniform Building Code of Appeals Board. I do know that the listing agent is here to speak on this property if you guys have any questions for us or for her.
Thank you, ma'am. Come on up. And just give us your name and get started.
Hello, I'm Jessica Scott from Tulsa, Keller Williams. So I'm the listing agent, so it is a corporate entity, and yes, it does have significant burn damage. The buyer, we had it listed on the market for $25,000, and we ended up accepting an offer for $10,000, and the buyer is aware of the historical needs of this property. Does have, apparently he has remodeled one of the neighboring properties as well. So we are asking that we at least delay or give more time to not require the demolition and give us a chance to repair this property. So we do have a viable buyer, and I did bring a copy of the offer as well.
Sarah, have you guys looked at the refurbished property next door?
So the refurbished property next door did go through a COA process. It was approved, and then we had to reject it because he was not using the appropriate materials, and we had to go stop him mid-remodel, and brought it back and explained it to him again of what was required. He did come before the Historic Preservation Commission again, and I believe since then has adhered to the correct materials and what was needed. Did you see that on your last inspection? Okay.
Is it the same buyer? Are we talking about the same property?
Our understanding is it's the same buyer.
Oh, okay, do you know his name?
Off the top of my head, ma'am, I don't, but I can certainly find out.
No, that would be familiar, just in case, because I'm not aware of which property he remodeled.
The Rigoberto does look familiar.
That does, okay, good.
Yes,
So-
but I can
And how you been
double
through the
check that
process?
information. I would rather tell you for sure.
No, it's okay, it's
Okay.
complete, okay. So it sounds good that he
So-
understands. what you're talking
So
about.
on your inspection of the property, it looks as if they gave a worthwhile and credible chance at the remodel.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
When you say delay, what is your estimated time frame?
Well, his closing date on his offer is, well, it being a cash transaction, I want to say that it's a 30-day close, maybe less, depending on how fast title can be clear, because it is an REO property.
Okay.
And he, of course, will only buy it if we don't demolish it, because he wants to remodel it.
It's hard to remodel a demolished house.
Correct. 100%.
Anything else from anybody?
Is it possible, Katrina, is it possible for us to delay it for a certain period, or would this be like any other actions on this matter, that if we stopped it, we would, the process of demolition would have to start all over?
No, you can go ahead and continue to a date certain, the appeal process, and not make a finding tonight, and just give because what they have to do is they would have to pull permits on it, and they would actually have, Sarah, I think it's a year to complete
On the
that?
permits, yes, but as of right now, it still hasn't even changed hands. So once it changed owners, the
They would
new
get the
owner
permit.
would be the one pulling the permits. But yes, they are good for a year.
Okay, so you
Yes.
might want to continue to a date certain 6 months down the road, so that you can, or 90 days, or whatever the council feels like. So they can just check in and make sure that it did transfer, but with an understanding that we're not stopping the actual demolition process, you're just continuing the appeals hearing.
Is this a home in the Founder's Place or one of those,
It is a historic, yes, it is in the historic district.
and Is this the first public appeal, a public hearing on this property?
No, it's gone through both PNRC and UBCAB. This is the appeal hearing.
Thank you.
So just to clarify, Deputy Mayor, the public body is the final stop before a district court hearing. But the public body has to make that final determination, and they also have the authority to delay it or suspend it, whatever the body sees fit.
I think we hear a lot of the time whenever we have something kind of being condemned, we see an owner come up and then we want to delay it and we're back in condemning process again. I'm okay with your buyer. 90 days is plenty of time to get it closed and start getting permits pulled. But if there's no action in 90 days, then we probably need to move forward and look at condemning the property for demolition.
And I'm wholeheartedly agree. The only thing that makes me even interested in doing this is the fact that the person that bought the house before did a reasonable or good job of rehabbing that house. So I'm excited for the prospect of the developer doing the same with the house next door.
For sure, it's the same person that did that one.
Yeah, I will have to find that out for sure.
Next, you can do that.
Okay.
So Counselor Hughes, I would recommend if you do make a motion of that for the 90 days, that it be to a date certain, which would be the June 29th council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Do we need to close the public hearing
Yes,
first?
yes.
Okay, let's close the public hearing and
So moved.
take it away. Do we have a motion? Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jared Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale?
Yes, item passes. Number 12, please.
Hold a public hearing related to an appeal of the findings by the Uniform Building Code of Appeals Board that the property located at 909 West Muskogee Avenue is dilapidated and has become detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the general public as to constitute a public nuisance and creates a fire hazard which is dangerous to the other property, and that the building is abandoned and that the property should be demolished or take other necessary action.
Okay, we're now going to open a public hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Thank you. The property owner, let me start over. An appeal from the owner was received October 24th of 2025 regarding the demolition of 909 West Muskogee. UBCAB had found on September the 24th that the property was dilapidated, had become detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the general public as to constitute a public nuisance, created a fire hazard which is dangerous to other property, and that the building was abandoned and the property should be demolished. Some additional background to this was that the owner had originally stated back in July of 2024 at the first UBCAB meeting that he was going to pull permits to fix up the property. The UBCAB board then allowed time for those renovations and improvements. To this date, no permits were ever pulled. I did check again today, and there are no permits for remodel or any kind of mechanical or anything that would fix up the property. In addition to this, the property caught fire in July of 2025, and that started our emergency demo process, which we started then August of 2025. That was halted because there was dilapidated personal property that we had to notice to make sure that no damage would befall that without that property being abated first. That went to PNRC, which is our Public Nuisance Review Committee, on September the 4th of 2025 regarding that property, and it was found that the property was dilapidated, constituting a public nuisance, and should be abated from the property. The structure then went to UBCAB, as I stated, on September the 24th of 2025, and that is where the decision of that board made the determination that was listed above that the property should be demolished. Our recommendation is that the findings of UBCAB be upheld. I've got some pictures. These are the pictures that we took when we were posting the property, and then we also have pictures from the fire marshals from when the fire happened. And I can answer any questions that you may have, and I do believe the owner is here as well.
So if we tear this property down, who pays for it?
For this, the owner would pay for that. There would be a lien on the property, and the owner would be responsible for that.
For 100% of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Would the owner like to come up and speak?
Sure.
Just your name, sir.
Ernest Northley.
Thank you.
Well, my intention is to take the modern portion of the building, which is the northern building that was attached to the
Did you go back?
building that burned, which would have been a fire hazard because it was a wood structure. But the two red columns there, and there's on the right, a portion of a concrete block building which the city had demolished. But the frontage part of that building is a modern building, which is basically concrete and steel, so it does not pose a fire hazard of any kind. And my intention is to close off that yard, demolish the house, and remodel that building maybe in the period of the next 6 to 10 months. We should have another operating building from the front building there that I can do something with. And I'm prepared to do that. I haven't really had the opportunity to do that through the course of the winter. I've had additional physical problems and things that are going on, and probably by the end of the week I'll be in a little better shape to be on site and start doing something on it. But I want to be there when it's done. I'm not going to turn this over to somebody. I did get out and do some things for a period of time to a point where I could not do that, but I will be able to do that.
Well, I'm glad
First
to hear
next
you.
week, so I start thinking about getting some permits and closing off the property that has been damaged and demolishing the house and getting started on the remodeling of the front portion of the building, which, like I said, I'd like to be able to do within the next 6 to 10 months.
Okay, I'm glad your health's improving.
Me too.
I hope it continues. So you don't think you'll have any problem with the money it's going to take to tear
No,
down the
that's
old
not
wooden
gonna be a
structure?
problem. It's just, provided how it's done. It's kind of like any job you get. Anybody that does a job for you, the job you get is going to depend on who you get to do it. And so in my case, I've got it pretty well worked out. I don't
Good.
think it'll be a problem.
Any other questions?
So what are you requesting?
Well, I would prefer you don't come in and destroy something like the front portion of that building that is remodelable. I prefer you don't come in and destroy and eliminate my entire equity in the property there. The older house was 100 years old. It probably should have been taken out and then something else put in its place, and I can do that, have it removed, and clean that lot up and add some more parking and have a viable piece of property to use for something, which is what I intend to do.
What's the timeline look like?
Well, I told you 6 to 10 months is probably what it'll take me.
We did this before, we put it off, and then a year
Yeah, you
later,
did, and I-
it caught fire, and we had 3 firefighters that got hurt.
Yeah, it certainly was. That was an arson fire. I'd love to have a copy of that. I'd like to take that to the OSBI for facial recognition. I haven't done that yet, but.
Counselor Hughes, I will say this has been going on for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And the same verbiage has been used over those 2 years of fixing it up.
Yeah, do I have to abstain?
No.
No, because I'm across the street.
No.
Okay.
I've been kind of working on a rehabilitation process that's happened since 2012, where I was stabbed 11 times by 2 people and killed 2 people, which wasn't the worst of all possibilities, but I did catch the IROC bacteria, which caused me to absorb 130 additional pounds of water, which then I went for another 12 years with a pericardial effusion, which meant that finally, about a year ago, when they took the 1.5 quart of water out of the sac around my heart, now I'm not exhausted under exertion. Just finished up with some revision surgery, and I'm taking antibiotic infusions through the end of the week, and I probably will be back in some kind of condition where I can get out and do things very quickly. So I'm already doing things pretty quickly, but I have to be pretty careful for the time being. But I plan to do this within 6 to 10 months. And that's, some of the issues there, things like tearing down my fence and then wanting to put the fence back, do this or do that. I mean, I've not really gotten a lot of help on that sort of thing. And some of that's because of what the city had done. And, the discussion of increased costs for fire and police and people like that would have been a nice thing to have had before somebody, arsoned my building. But So I don't know that in the time since August when the building is burned, that anybody has had any particular problem associated with the health or the welfare or the safety of anyone that we know of. So that I can contend is a lot of boilerplate. But I'll secure the property in the next 2 weeks or less. I've got fence material, portions of the fence ready to put up now. Begin removing rubble and tearing down that house pretty soon. So 6 to 10 months, I should have a working building there.
Seeing how we've delayed and delayed and delayed, I understand some of the things that have set you back. We never seem to win on those things.
Well, you know, that may be.
Another thing that I would like to ask, there are properties on Old Muskogee that have been cleaned up, especially going east, that have torn down everything, and then they've sold their property at a good value because it was worth more to the purchaser to have a nice cleaned off lot than it was to have this, older building on it. And I think
that
that's
could be a
something
viable
that
thing to some extent.
The council might want to consider that could be an avenue.
Well, it is my business, not the city council's business. I am the owner. When you guys start paying my bills, then you can tell me how to run my business. That's how I figure it. I have filed a notice of intent to file for an injunctive relief as a pro se litigant. I did not file for it, but I can, and if necessary, I will. That represents a significant equity interest to me, and what I've got there. And downtown property is valuable, no doubt about it. Nobody buys downtown property for cheap. Now, there are lots of people that would love to buy it for cheap, but nobody buys downtown property for cheap. However, that particular lot is in the middle of the block, and it's probably not going to be a drive-through location for anything, but the building, the modern building that exists on the property with the ample other area there for parking could make that a valid and viable thing for some kind of a office retail establishment. And to build that existing structure, which is rehabilitatable. And in fact, if we did absolutely nothing to it now, it probably would stand there for 1,000 years. It's concrete block and steel. So all it needs is to be rehabilitated with a new roof structure and utilities. And I'm 2/3 towards having a modern building, which would be, considerable cost to build in today's market. And as we know, everything is going up. So I have,
When was the newer part built?
My recollection, I know the folks that built it, and then the extension on the west side, and that was a real tragedy because that 80-something foot of 16-foot-high wall was a heavy concrete block with wire reinforcement, and it was filled with vermiculite, so it was a very well-insulated thing. And had they not done that, it would have made what I was going to do a whole lot easier because I'm now having to deal with a lot of rubble and personal possessions, which I've been digging out of that rubble. But I think that building was built in the early 70s, But structurally, it's sound.
Was it Bowman Randolph? Was that what was
that? That's correct. The steel bar joist came from Port City Steel. Cletus Ratcliffe was the engineer that was building those and went all over town. I don't know why the Civic Center used a similar roofing material one time called Tectum. I don't know why that was ever approved, but that was what was on that roof. Wasn't any good when they put it on there. So that's just like any flat roof building. You've got to replace them, and that'll have to be done. But the block and the foundation, the slab, steel bar joists, that would be, if you're going to build a get and go, that's what you probably want to use today, unless you want to go cheap and use wood for something like that. But you'd pay considerably more over the long run because you'd have to pay fire insurance, and that's well on the way to being a fireproof building, depending on what I do for a roof.
Sarah,
Yes.
knowing, two questions, knowing everything that you know right now, what is your thought, what are your thoughts, your team's thoughts?
This has been going on so long that we are requesting that you guys uphold the findings of the Uniform Building Code of Appeals Board. And actually, if I may, I have an email from Aaron Mayhew that kind of details what happened during the fire that started the whole emergency abatement process. If you don't mind me reading some of this, it gives some of the details of the structural integrity and things like that.
Before, can you give me the exact, sort of exact time, the time is they've been given in months or years or whatever, have they already been given?
We started this process in June of 2024.
Okay, yes, go ahead and proceed.
Okay. To whom it may concern, this correspondence serves as an official request from the Muskogee Fire Marshal's Office for the emergency abatement of the abandoned two-story structure located at 909 West Muskogee Street due to its current condition posing an immediate and significant threat to public safety. On July 29, 2025, this property experienced a structure fire that resulted in severe damage, including the collapse of the roof over the second-story section. During the scene examination conducted by fire investigators, the structure was found to be in such a state of deterioration and collapse that it was deemed unsafe for entry. As a result, only an exterior examination was completed. Observations made during the investigation include partial collapse of the second-story floor and interior wall into the center of the building, significant failure of the flat roof over the first floor north section, leaving multiple large openings around the steel truss framing, severe structural compromise to the roof system and load-bearing elements throughout the building. Electrical and natural gas utilities were confirmed to be inactive, verifying that the structure was not in active use. Overgrowth and the storage of multiple dilapidated vehicles and debris along the west and south sides of the property created major access issues for fire suppression crews and investigators. Structures on the property located just a few feet from the north property line was also observed to be in a state of severe deterioration, separate structure referring to the accessory building that's in the back, located just a few feet from the north property line, was also observed to be in a state of severe deterioration. The interior of the primary damaged structure was heavily congested with combustible materials arranged in a way that made it extremely difficult for fire crews to navigate, further exasperating the fire hazard and complicating suppression operations. The building's current state of instability presents an immediate hazard to the surrounding area. The adjacent structure to the east is less than 10 feet away. Should the remaining portions of the second story or exterior walls collapse, it is highly likely to cause damage to neighboring properties and could result in injury or death to passerby in this high-foot traffic corridor. And then he goes on to list the 2018 International Fire Code codes that this went against. In light of the findings and in accordance with the authority granted under the 2018 IFC, I am formally requesting that the City Attorney's Office and Planning Office initiate emergency abatement procedures for the immediate securing and/or demolition of the structure at 909 West Muskogee. Please contact me if you have any questions.
Another question. The cars and everything been there for 2 years?
We saw those when they started the dilapidation process, but there are, in some of the pictures, you can see there's trees growing up through them, and they don't have wheels on. I mean, you can tell they've been sitting there for years.
Okay.
Most of them have wheels on, but.
Thank you. Councilor Hoos, I'm very familiar with, and have been, with on Main Street going east, Muskogee. We've done a lot of cleaning up there, and it probably everybody's noticed it. I'm not real familiar with West Muskogee. What are your personal opinions to this property, or can you give any? I just want somebody that's been by it and seen it.
Well, I see it every day. My opinions is that there's a lot of properties that we need to address. And with your property, sir, is that we had a chance to address it in 2024, and it was a pretty big fire. It was huge. We had 3 firefighters that sustained injuries. It took 4 trucks. It took multiple firefighters that ended up getting hurt from heat exhaustion too, required IV fluids. And I think that when we close the public hearing, I'm going to make the motion to uphold the findings.
My thoughts are similar. If we don't take a stand at some point on these properties, which we've been doing it on the east side, we'll never get anywhere.
Let me make a comment. You know, there's a lot of things have been said here. You know, we talk about the possibility that there's a portion of the building that could fall down on somebody. On the east side of the building, there's a concrete wall that extended southerly to to where the house stopped on the south side. And there's a 16 foot between that wall and where the house is. So any of the second story material, the wall that still apparently is standing, if it were to fall in an easterly direction, it would still fall on my property. It would fall, it was probably permitted and allowed to be built just for that purpose, because it's not going to, and of course, it appears that well, I don't know what the ordinances for those kinds of things are, but maybe some variant was given, but the next door neighbor there with the plumbing shop built within just a very few feet of the property line, and I'm actually further from the property line than he is. And there's absolutely no danger of anything falling on his property, and there's nothing about the northern building that would fall on anyone. And like I said, I'll have the property closed off by the first of next week, and the rubble in front of it moved within a short period of time, and the house, which would be the only fire hazard on the property, removed within a fairly short period of time.
Thank you for your input.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, this public hearing is closed.
I'd like to make a motion to uphold the finding.
If we can, I've got a person that wanted to speak,
Sure.
and I thought we would ask them now. Mr. Van? Boy, I like that cap.
Thank you. You give it to me.
Oh,
Good evening, Council.
good evening.
It's an honor to be here this evening. Oh, I see the clock ain't moving. I know I'm on the time. Okay.
We got you.
Anyway, when I was on the city council, I respect Mr. Lee highly. I knowed him a long time. That building there used to be a flower shop long years ago. And it was in Ward 3, the ward I was the councilor on. I got two friends that go to my church. They own a building right there, right across from the library, by his shop. Those trees and those cars right there, that shouldn't be. And that's been there like that a long time, even when I was on the council. And I agree with you, Dr. Hughes. You have a nice place across the street, and you want that place, his place, to look nice. To me, it's just like Main Street I used to come up here and talk about. The hotel, which is finally going to get tore down. All the other dilapidated building was on Main Street. To me, this building here is dilapidated on West Muskogee, and it needs to come down. And that's just a fact. Anybody in here and anybody watching on TV can tell that building needs to come down. Those old cars back there need to be hauled off. Another thing gets me is it used to be when I was on the council, if you got a building like that and rocks, especially, I don't see the picture up there now, but you're supposed to put some kind of fence up there to keep children and somebody out. At first they did. And the contractor, I guess he put that up there at first. But all of a sudden it disappeared. Now it's not there. And Mr. Lee, there's another thing you can do, sir. You don't have to pay for this building, all of it yourself. The city of Muskogee will pay half of it if you just sign the waivers. Yeah, I understand. And I was just giving you that piece of information because it won't cost you all your money. But you need to take your money and do the right thing, and that is to get rid of this building so we can have a nice looking area over in Ward 3 where the councilmen are, where all the citizens are, and especially right there where all those nice buildings are. Especially the ones, go to my church. I didn't have to come up here tonight, but I rushed. When I say I rushed to get here, I rushed to get here. Because I think this is very important. Muskogee is a nice looking street going down it. And we don't need a building and cars sitting up there like this. Muskogee is a pretty city. If we just clean it up, and it needs to be cleaned up, and especially that right there needs to be cleaned up. I work different projects with Sarah and Codell and on different projects here in Muskogee that y'all don't know nothing about. I don't publicize it. But when we want things done, we work together. I had neighbors in my community clean up a whole block. The neighbors all got together. People need to do that in their community to help each other. I'm not just up here talking. I'm telling you the truth. Because when I was a councilman, you know I worked. And I got out there and used my hands and everything else and helped people. So, Mr. Lee, please, take this building down and make our city pretty.
Mr. Van, I want to thank you. 8 to 10 years ago, this was on your mind. You were serious about it. You were serious about the corridors coming into Muskogee, the Main Street corridor. Look what's happened since 10 years ago. You used to talk about the East Corridor and the West Corridor. As a matter of fact, I think you're the counselor that got these counselors off their rears to think this was important. So thank you. Thank you for what you did and how you served 10 years ago. Look what has accomplished. Thank you.
May I speak again?
We've closed the public hearing, can we? No? No, I'm sorry. The hearing is closed. Okay.
I make a motion to uphold the findings of the UBCAB buildings.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hous,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes, item passes. Number 13, please.
Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 4289A, a request to rezone the property located at South 45th Street East and East Hancock Street from P Port Industrial to I-2 Heavy Industrial, and if approved, authorize staff to update the official zoning map of the city or take other necessary action.
Ms. Winkle?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me open this hearing. The
Thank
hearing
you.
is now open. Thank you.
The applicant has requested a rezone of the property located at South 45th Street East and East Hancock Street from Port Industrial to I-2 Heavy Industrial. The proposed use of this property is going to be for an electrical substation or transmission facility. The request does conform to our 2025 Muskogee Comprehensive Plan and future land use map. The item went before the Planning and Zoning Commission on March the 3rd, 2026, and their recommendation to City Council was to approve the ordinance rezoning the property. Staff does recommend approval of the ordinance, number 4289A, and I just wanted to show you, so these are out of order, so I apologize. So the location of the property is just to the east of 45th Street, and the future land use map is pointing to the fact that this is conforming to the future land use map. So we're not having to amend the land use map or anything like that. Everything does conform with what they're wanting to do. I do know that representatives of the applicant are here to speak on this if you have any questions for them as well, but we do recommend approval.
Yes. Please, Mr. Grover.
Mark Grover, I'm the attorney for the Muskogee Industrial Trust. Two gentlemen are here with me today, Stephen Kroll and Jeff Tullis, and they are with the Grand River Dam Authority if the council had any questions. Muskogee Industrial Trust owns this piece of property. We've been negotiating with GRDA to buy it, and we discovered that because of the zoning being port, it needed a change to become a transmission facility, and so that's the reason we're before the council and asking that it be rezoned. We visited with the port director, Ms. Scott, went over that with her. They didn't have any objection, obviously, and so that's why we're here tonight, so we can move this along.
Awesome. Any questions of Mr. Grover? No?
No.
Okay, we'll now close the hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. And,
Make a motion, we approve.
thank you. Roll call.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hous,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes, item passes. Number 15, please.
14.
I'm sorry, number 14.
Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 4290A, a request to rezone the property located at Foxcroft Drive from C1 local commercial to R2 two-family, and if approved, authorize staff to update the official zoning map of the city or take other necessary action.
We'll now open a public hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Thank you. This application was submitted by Brandon and Melissa Fouch to build approximately 7 total duplexes on this property. The current zoning is C1 local commercial. 4 of those 7 duplexes have already been previously built. when the new applicant purchased it. The property is being rezoned to R2 two-family so that it is brought into compliance with the zoning ordinance to allow for the duplexes to be built. The R2 zoning does conform with the 2025 Comprehensive Plan and Future Land Use Map. This did go before the Planning and Zoning Commission on March 3rd, and their recommendation to City Council was to approve the ordinance rezoning the property. We do recommend approval of Ordinance 4290A. And just to show you on the map, this is over off just north of East Hancock and Foxcroft Drive. There's already 4 duplexes that are currently built there, and they're wanting to complete that out with 3 more. There's also an apartment complex over there that they own as well. It conforms to the future land use map within that area. These are some of the pictures of the area around surrounding that zone.
Can go back, can we tell where the existing duplexes are by that picture you had?
So the very...
No, I mean the frontage. I want to see their garage doors.
Oh, sorry.
I see apartments.
These are
So
the
there's part of the garage
duplexes?
door right there. Now, he has remodeled, there was one that had caught fire over there, and he went through it and remodeled the whole thing. It's got a brand new garage door on it.
Okay, so these requested are butting up against the property with the current.
So I'm going to show you the plat. So the bottom 4 lots are the ones that already have the duplexes on them. This was never zoned correctly.
Okay.
Since he's wanting to build more, we now have to bring that into compliance with our zoning ordinance.
Oh,
which
okay,
is why
same
we're
guy?
asking, correct.
Okay.
Which is why we're asking for the rezone.
Perfect.
Is he doing it for rentals, I wonder, or selling them?
They're going to be duplexes. I don't know if he's going to sell those or if he's going to rent them out. I do not know that for sure.
Either way, we need it.
The original 4 that were sitting there were really, really bad, and they looked horrible. And I was like, man, they may be on our list to tear down soon. These people came in and just remodeled them, and they're all nice. They look brand new again. They did a lot of work in them. They look really nice.
Good. Well, I think
If the new ones have anything that look like the way they did these, we're in good shape.
Well, I think we'll encourage them. Anybody else? Public hearing closed.
I make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Hale.
Yes. Motion passes. Number 15, please.
Discuss and consider approval of amended ordinance number 4159A by amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances, by amending Chapter 3, City Council Ethics, Article 2, Ethics, Section 3-8, General Policy, Section 3-9, Conflict of Interest, Section 3-10, Use and Disclosure of Information Prohibited, Section 311, Use of Cellular Phones and Recording Devices Prohibited by Council Members During Executive Session, Section 3-12, Positive Workplace Environment, Section 3-13, Ethics Advisory Committee, Creation and Structure, Section 3-14, Participation in Ethics Investigations, Section 3-15, Violation, adding repealer, severability, codification, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Councilor Hall.
Hey, this is my agenda item from a couple weeks ago. It's back on. In last meeting that we had, there were some comments made about the public was really worried about why we were doing this. And again, it has nothing to do with anybody outside the city council. It has everything to do when we go in executive session. We took this off of we took this out of what we normally do during executive session, where we give up our phones. And it keeps us focused on what's going on in executive session. But during executive session, it's becoming more prevalent that people have their phones out and they're emailing and doing stuff on them that has nothing to do with what we're doing in executive session. That is why I'm putting this on here. It has nothing to do with the election. It has nothing to do with the people outside this chambers, except for during our meetings. And I find that it's very unprofessional for us to be on our cell phones. We're adults, but it's sad that we have to have a rule like this, but we're adults, and we need to stay off our cell phones. We need to take care of our business when we're in executive session and get it done.
Well, I think I keep my volume down on TikTok, so I don't see the problem. Any questions from Mr. Hall?
Are we amending this for Dr. Who's? What was our conversation?
Oh, well, I think for
About
folks that have to be contacted or emergencies, we have to.
Yeah, I
Yes, we have an
take call
exception.
and, yeah.
That's the only amendment that we were
So
talking about.
we said we would amend for the attorney. Who all did we say? We need to.
For city
specify.
staff, in case we
City
had to
staff
contact our
and-
staff or look up statutes or ordinances, and then for any medical personnel.
So with the amendment of city staff and Dr. Who.
Okay, and I don't have a problem with that. I think instead of saying doctor, let's just say, or medical personnel, or, so it just covers everybody, we don't have to change it again.
The amendment does say medical personnel.
Thank you.
Feel special. But anyways, other people may have to take call and stuff with their business or have other stuff. I think it just doesn't need to be limited to, I mean, we all have, this is a volunteer position, we all have jobs. Who knows what job we're going to be next? You know, if someone has a position that they're on call during these hours that we're volunteering, they need to be able to be reached.
Well, my inclination is to think that the council people up here can act and be responsible, and I suppose if some counselor wants to call out another counselor at some point, they can, but I personally, and I appreciate your thoughts, I think we don't need to do anything right now. Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion. A second?
I want to move for approval to see if I get a second.
Okay, yes, sir.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Okay, roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
No.
Tom Martindale,
No.
Dan Hall,
Definitely yes.
Melody Cranford,
No.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
No.
Tracy Hoos,
Tracy will have his phone.
Yes, with the exception.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
No.
and Mayor Patrick Hale.
I'm going to say no, and I like the way Councilor Cranford operates. Thank you for the support. She's a team player.
I don't even have hurt feelings over it.
Thank you, Dan. Motion failed. Okay, item number 16, please.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4278A, an ordinance amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 46, Health and Sanitation, Article 2, Food Sanitation, Division 2, Permits, Section 46-46 required, adding repealer severability and declaring an emergency, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Bodenhammer.
Thank you, Mayor. My Deputy City Attorney, Carrie Spencer, actually worked very hard on this ordinance, and she's going to present it.
Thank you, Ms. Bodenhammer. Thank you, Mayor, Council. As we discussed at the last meeting, in 2025, the legislature passed the Food Truck Freedom Act, which required that cities no longer charge a permitting fee, as there is now a state-level permit for food trucks. That took effect November 1st. The city did stop charging food trucks that fee because that ordinance had taken place at the state level. So this ordinance just brings our municipal code into agreement and compliance with state law. We do need to declare an emergency because this took effect November 1st. The staff does recommend approval, and I can answer any questions you may have.
So this supersedes the city.
It does.
Any other questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hoos,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Hale.
Yes.
Make a motion, we declare an emergency.
Thank you, Doctor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on declaring an emergency. Roll call.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hoos,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Hale.
Yes. Item passes. Number 17.
Consider approval to award the contract for the lowest and/or best bid to Five Star Demolition LLC in the amount of $438,165 for the demolition abatement of 26 West Broadway Street, AKA 26 East Broadway Street, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Winkle?
Yes, thank you. The planning department requested bid proposals for the demolition / abatement of this property. The bid request was advertised in the Muskogee Phoenix newspaper on February 7th and 14th, and on the city website starting on February 7th, 2026. In addition, there was a voluntary on-site meeting provided at the property on February 10th at 3:30 p.m. We received 8 bid proposals, and bid opening was on February 7th. Five Star Demolition LLC was the lowest and or best bid at $438,165 on this project. I would like to state that the bid tabulation did show other bids that came in lower than this. Tactical Demolition showed at $349,000. However, it included multiple exclusions, and once those were added back in, which would have been necessary, it would have put the bid above the lowest bid. Then we had another bid at $400,000. That was from Cook's Consulting. However, subsequent to the bid process, we found out that there was a significant conflict of interest that would not allow us to use this contractor on this demolition. The next bid was $3,000 from K&M Wrecking. Again, not an all-inclusive bid, and to add back in some of the things that were necessary for this demo, it would have put an additional $374,000 onto theirs, taking it above $700,000. So that left Five Star Demolition with the next lowest bid at $438,165. Their bid is all-inclusive and includes everything that we do need to complete this project. And the staff does recommend approval of the contract for the lowest and best bid to Five Star Demolition.
Do you have any pretty maps of the project? I'm trying to think in my head of where we are.
So this is right across the street from Maxine's Pub. The Muskogee Hotel.
Oh, now I've got a good idea in my mind.
So is the city, what is the city responsible for this $438,165?
Great question. Sorry I did not answer that. So the owners have signed a waiver, and so we will only be responsible for half of that amount, and the owners will pay the other half.
And do we get any, what is the city's benefit on that? Do we get a lien on the property? What do we get?
We put a lien on the property until everything is paid off, yes.
Okay.
If we approve this tonight, what is the timeline that this will start taking place?
Once this is approved tonight, I have the contract ready to go for approval. We will have a TAC meeting, I am hoping, next Tuesday, because we need to pull in OG&E, ONG, and all the subsequent utilities to see what all they need to do on their end as well, because I know that there's going to have to be some things that are disconnected before we move forward. In addition to that, the neighboring business owners will need to be notified as well. I am hoping that once that meeting occurs, we will have a better view of what that timeline is going to look like.
And during the demolition, do you think we'll have to close down any businesses around there?
I do not foresee businesses having to be closed. We will have to close the streets.
We'll have to do some lane closures on Main Street, but we'll work that out with ODOT. But we intend to keep traffic moving both ways.
And to answer his question, I suppose if it turns out it appears to be precarious or dangerous, we will close the businesses. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got an important acknowledgement. I think I would be for this if the city gets to keep the sign. I saw the sign going down the road.
So the sign is the property of the owner. So
the current owner?
Yes.
He's getting out good.
The current owner does get to keep the sign.
We want half. No, I'm serious. I want to cut in half. We want half. And when they pay off we'll give them the other half back.
I will say that given the historic nature of it, we did offer some suggestions and asked if they would be willing to maybe let us display it at the Depot Green or somewhere like that, and they are supposed to get back with us on that.
Good.
Is there a possibility when they get to the point, I want to see if there's really a tunnel that runs underneath that building?
There is.
There it is.
Patrick's probably been in it, but anyway.
Okay, any other questions?
I move for approval.
Second.
We got a good motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
I abstain.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. Motion passes. Item 18, please.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to execute an engagement letter with Hood and Associates, certified public accountants, to perform an audit of financial statements and prepare an audit report for fiscal year 2025, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Okay, we've got Miss Alicia Glanz. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. This agenda item is to authorize the city manager to execute an engagement letter with Hood & Associates, certified public accountants, to get started on the audit of our financial statements and prepare our audit report for fiscal year 25 to 26, excuse me. And we do recommend approval. And I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call. Thank you, ma'am.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes, item passes. Number 19, please.
Consider approval to authorize the Muskogee Police Department to apply for, and if approved, accept the 2025 Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $37,370 or take other necessary action.
Chief Cotton, wow, you're there.
Yes, to the city mayor, the city manager, and the council. This is the yearly Justice Assistance Grant provided by the Bureau of Justice Assistance. This grant will be shared with Muskogee County Sheriff's Office due to the Muskogee County being a disparate jurisdiction. Our funds will be half, which is $18,685, and will be used to purchase new and replace old laptop computers in police cars. There's an attached MOU that has been reviewed by the city attorney and being sent to the county commissioners for approval. It is just got released, and it has to go on this agenda to meet the deadline. Staff recommends approval for this project.
Any questions from the chief?
Motion to approve.
Chief, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall. Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes, item passes. Number 20, please.
Consider acceptance of a $1,000 donation from Academy Sports Plus Outdoors to support the Youth Volunteer Corps program or take other necessary action.
Mr. Francis.
Thank you, Mayor. So with the soon-to-be opening of Academy Sports and Outdoors, part of their community outreach that they are doing along with their grand opening is that they they chose to give a donation to $1,000 to a city organization that has to do with parks and recreation, and staff thought that our Youth Volunteer Corps would be a good recipient of these funds, and staff recommends approval. And we have a few of our YVC, Miss Hamela, the director, and a couple of the kids. There was a third one.
You want to wave, ladies? There they are. There they are.
That's my podcast crew, so I'm glad to see them here tonight. But we do recommend approval of accepting the donation.
Move for approval.
Second it.
We got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes, item passes. Number 21, please.
Consider approval to authorize change order number 1 with Cook Consulting LLC for the South Country Club widening project in an amount not to exceed $199,200 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Rigney.
Yes, thank you. So during the process of widening South Country Club, we've been in there and got work started. It's become apparent that we're going to it'd be in our best interest rather to relocate the water line. So during the survey work, we did pothole for depth and appeared it could stay in place. However, in the process of construction, we've discovered that there's areas where we won't be able to have the appropriate amount of cover between the curb and the water line. The water line right now is made out of asbestos concrete or transite, and it's a 12-inch water line. Therefore, it's a pretty substantial line, and transite is a very fragile material. It's not something we use anymore, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that shortly. We did have it in the project, or we didn't have it in the project at the beginning because we wanted to make sure we were in budget here. This project was incepted in 2019. We put it together, didn't get it out until now, and we anticipated that budget coming up, or that cost coming up, and being over budget, so we didn't include that water line. So with the bids coming in, they came in lower than we anticipated, so we do have money in there to make this change for the better. So this would be a net improvement to the area. Public Works views this as a positive, and anytime we can get a transite line out of our system, it's a good thing. In the change order that's attached, you'll see Cook's Consulting put a price for a similar water project for reference. Those are the two columns in pink and yellow. This change order is allowing us to get a water line replaced for an extremely competitive price and a better price than what we would have been able to get having this bid in a different type of project. I have a short little PowerPoint here. So basically, here's a little bit of specifications. Asbestos concrete or transite water lines, they're obsolete. They were put in most of the time between the 40s and the 70s. They're very fragile and prone to corrosion. They're heavy pipes that break very easily. So what we would do instead is go back in with C900 PVC pipe, which is the standard for municipal water lines. It doesn't have the corrosion issues. It's lightweight and has some flexibility in its joints. It's designed to last 50 years and has a better overall performance. So here's a picture on the left. You'll see you got transite, and on the right is the C900, which is what you typically see for water lines these days. So funding, this was funded by the 393 account, which is our CIP tax for roads. This was approved by the council. There is funding in place. The water line was not original to the project to ensure it fit within budget. So the engineer's estimate for this project with no water line was 2.4. The next lowest bidder, other than Cook, with no water line was 3.1. Cook with no water line was 1.5. And then Cook's bid with that water line added in as a change order is 1.7. So you'll still see we were significantly under the engineer's budget, which is the budget amount we had in place. So as far as change orders goes, this is a good opportunity for us to replace a long span of 12-inch transite water line, and we recommend approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
That looks like when you turned on your faucet at home, you'd have fur in your glass.
Not exactly, but that is a fear when people hear asbestos. It's safe when it's intact.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Well, and you know how I feel about change orders.
That's why I put together a PowerPoint for you.
I saw that because you knew the questions were coming, and I appreciate it. Move for approval.
And that's because of how proud he is of that intersection. That's awesome. Awesome what you're doing there. The biggest thing that's happened to Muskogee in a long time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes, roll call. Or, yes, it was roll call. How about item number 24? No? How about item number 22? How about motion passes?
Consider approval of the purchase of one Kubota M6S-111 DSC2 four-wheel drive cabbed tractor from Kubota Stewart Martin in the total amount of $66,680.34 per Sourcewell contract number 112624, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Rigney.
Yes, so this is a tractor that will be used in environmental control. We already have the brush hog for it. Be pulling a 15-foot brush hog. We use this for mowing big stretches of right-of-way, center medians, This is a necessary piece of equipment for us to take the next step forward in our vegetation maintenance during the summer. Here's a picture of the tractor. It's bigger than that in person. M6 is a commercial grade tractor. It's not something that you can get that you would typically have for residential mowing applications. So we are taking over maintenance of some larger properties that we had originally contracted out. We took them over last year, and we're happier with our work than we were with the contract work we were getting, and this is a imperative piece of equipment for us to be able to continue to do that. I'm happy to answer any questions. We do recommend approval.
I just have one question, and it's not an easy one. This is the Stuart Martin out here on 69 Highway, correct? Part of their group?
I'll have to confirm. I don't have the answer for that right now. It's Stuart Martin Kubota, which is through the state contract, so I don't know which location has the state contract. But
they do have an office here in Muskogee.
They do, and if at all possible, we'll make sure the tractor comes from that fleet.
Because it's almost every time we do a bid for them, then last time they had the Muskogee address on the receipt or something, and I said, just look to the right of it, says Muskogee too. So just to let you know, we are trying to buy Muskogee, and it is a company that is here in Muskogee as well.
Yes, we understand. It has to do more with the state contract and the source well, so.
Any other questions?
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes. Item passes. Number 23, please.
Consider rejection of all bids for the replenishment of anthracite filter media at the water treatment plant or take other necessary action.
Mr. Rigney.
Yes, so if you will turn over to your bid tab, we had 4 companies come in to bid on a turnkey anthracite replenishment. Anthracite is a filter media that we have at our water treatment plant. It's a charcoal type material. We had bids come in really all over the place, and we had some bids that were not in accordance with how we wanted that project to be bid as far as unit cost. We also had a mobilization on there that varied widely to ensure we get a fair price and our fair competition to the bidders. We felt it best to hone in our specifications and rebid this. Be happy to answer any questions. Staff recommends rejection of the bids.
I don't have a question, but I'd like to thank you for doing that, not just taking bids just because you have them. Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes. Item passes. Number 24, please.
Consider approval of the appointment of Kimberly Hackes to the Wellness Initiative, filling an unexpired term beginning upon appointment and ending November 30th, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Martindale.
Yes. Ms. Yatkes has applied to serve on the Wellness Initiative. And in my experience with her, it has been nothing but excellent in terms of what she does for the community in a number of different capacities. I highly recommend it.
Second.
We have a second. Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes. Item passes. Mr. Mayor. No, we got to read it. Let's read it. 25.
Consider approval of the appointment of John Mays to the Wellness Initiative to serve a 4-year term, filling the expired term of Joshua Cotton, beginning April 1, 2026, and ending March 31, 2030, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm honored to recommend Mr. Don Mays for the Wellness Initiative Committee here in the city of Muskogee. He is a employee of St. Francis Hospital. I tease him all the time, and he gets mad at me for calling him a nurse, but he's not a nurse. He's a surgical technician, at St. Francis Hospital. He is very involved in wellness initiatives with our youth, from the no speed limit track program, as well as he's worked many years with night hoops. And so he's a young man. I say it all the time. Idle minds are the devil's workshops. Idle hands are the devil's tools. Don has a whole lot of nervous energy, so let's give him something to do and put him on this wellness initiative. So that would be my motion at this time to appoint Don Mays for the wellness initiative.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Hale.
Yes. Item passes. Item number 26, please.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. A, pursuant to Section 307, C11, Title 25, consider convening an executive session to confer on matters pertaining to Economic Development Project ED-2025-15, including a proposal to entice a business to locate in the northeastern quadrant of the city, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. B, pursuant to Section 307, B2, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local Number 2465, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. C, pursuant to Section 307, B2, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 95, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. D, pursuant to Section 307, B2, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters, Local Number 57, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. And it's my understanding we're striking items E, F, and G.
Thank you.
Yes.
Make a motion, we go into executive session.
Have a motion? Second. Roll call?
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Hale.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, motion to return?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Mike Brawley?
Yes.
Tom Martindale?
Here.
Dan Hall?
Yes?
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jared Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Hale?
Yes. Roll call?
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor Patrick Hale?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Jared Reed?
Here.
Tracy Hous?
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Here.
Melody Cranford?
Here.
Dan Hall?
Here.
Tom Martindale?
Here.
Mike Brawley?
Here.
Ms. Bodenhammer?
Thank you, Mayor. Item 26A, pursuant to Section 307C11, Title 25, council did convene an executive session to confer on matters pertaining to Economic Development Project ED 2025-15, including a proposal to entice a business to locate in the northeastern quadrant of the city, and there is no action required on this item. Item 26B, pursuant to 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss negotiations with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, local number 2465, and there is no action required on this item. Item 26C, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge number 95, and there is no action required on this item. Item 26D, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters, local number 57, and there is no action required on this item. And items E, F, and G were stricken.
Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned.